Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. Kind of how it goes. And this is Answering Your Financial Questions with Coach Steve Money live. Alrighty, we are live. And we've got audio, so that it tends to work out best when we have audio. You're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney, and that, of course, is my YouTube homepage. And if you scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist, you'll see the after show, Ramsey show, after show playlists, and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist, and the music playlist with such hits as 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Example of probably the best video I made for one of these is the basically karaoke video. It has the lyrics on the screen, and that would be did you ever think that just maybe you belong dead free? So Taylor Swift gets 0.00001%, or 1 cent rather, every time somebody listens to that, and I get 0.0001 cent as well. And so it's a happy collab there between me and her. Let's get into some questions. As soon as I rudely check my notification. Oh, it's Pizza Hut. I mean, not Pizza Hut. How dare I? It's Domino's. They remember. They're thinking of me. Speaking of thinking, this is from Dry Anxiety 1068. Overthinking this journey. Hate to admit that I've been following Dave for years, but never really put the baby steps into practice. I've tried multiple times, but I fail right away. Well, failing right away means you're not trying hard enough. And stop trying, instead do it. Do or do not. There is no try. If we learn nothing from Star Wars, that's Yoda from Empire Strikes Back. So, but failing right away. Let's see, I want to ask for accountability accountability partner. Let's work on the English as well. But I'm too proud and or afraid of some kind of judgment. Okay, well, make up your mind. You want help? Or do you want to be in your own little kingdom there where you're too proud and afraid of being judged? What would you rather be? You'd rather have financial peace, or you'd rather be stuck in the situation you're in now? So something has got to change, obviously. I know I'm not the only one who's felt or feeling like this. So I'm looking for some insight to make the journey easier for me to take. Baby step one. It's not gonna be easier. You need to buck it up, Buttercup. I don't know if this is a man or woman, but you need to man up or woman up. It's a little thing called being an adult. You know the Ramsey advice would be the best thing for you, but you can't make yourself do it. That means you have some kind of mental problem. And so you might need, if you can't make yourself do it, there's a difference between not making yourself do it because you don't want to sacrifice anything. And that's just normal. That's just being you're normal. You're just being normal there at that point. But it's if you really, really, really want to do it, but somehow you fail every time, then that's probably, again, a counseling issue for you, sir or madam. Fiery girl, I guess, GRL. Pay off zero interest car loan, yes. Doesn't matter that it has no interest on it. Guess what it is? It's still a loan. It's still financing. It's still debt. And so I wonder what Dave would say about that. That would be a no for Mr. Ramsey, dog. Little pitchy, Doug. Hi, I know there's no real right or wrong answer to this. Oh, you bet your ass there's a right answer to it, and it's not the way you're thinking about it, most likely. But I'm going to ask anyways. I'm completely debt-free, with the exception of a... So you're not debt-free, so why even bring that up? It doesn't matter. You have debt, and that's what you should concentrate on. Not that, well, I'm debt-free other than this. Of a $31,660.51 car loan that is 0% interest. Yes, I did buy a brand new car when my 12-year-old beloved one conked out, and I needed immediate, reliable transportation. Guess what? A used car can be a reliable piece of transportation, and I have had used cars for probably 15 years now. And fortunately, only, let's see, over 15 years, maybe 3 during that span. But still, that's, if you average it, that's 5 years per car, and paying something cheap for it rather than financing it, it made my finances a lot better, obviously. Didn't pay anywhere near the amount that you're paying on that loan. So you need to quit being dumb and quit saying, I'm completely debt free, with the exception of, you don't get a pass on this just because it's a car and you needed it. People are such dumbasses with saying, I needed it. No, you didn't. You needed reliable transportation. That did not have to come in the form of a new car. You chose to do that dumbass crap. My net worth is $2.1 million. Okay, and so that means you would qualify to buy a new car in cash. Why didn't you not pay for it in cash, you dumbass? And I could easily pay this off in total. Why wouldn't you? Would you pay it off or just keep making monthly payments and keep the money in the bank, presently on a CD ladder? Dumbass, dumbass, dumbass. Mr. Ramsey does not advise debt leverage, what you're doing, in order to have that investment and have that money sit in the bank and make more interest, obviously, than being charged, since it's a zero interest loan. But no, if you want to be a financial bro or financial fiery girl, maybe, then knock yourself out. But you're on the Ramsey subreddit, Dave Ramsey subreddit. And Mr. Ramsey says none of that, but let's see, 107 comments, and it did not get locked. Post did not get locked, so to new comments, so it must have not gotten really contentious in there. So great, but out of the 107, oh, I'm sure half of the people that come on this subreddit, they're trolls. They don't like the Ramsey advice, and they just want to bitch about it or disagree with it, whatever. And that's a pretty dumb thing to do. That's a waste of your time. Okay, assistance 4, 5, 6. What's my next move? 22 man, and have gotten extremely lucky with investing, and I've been able to accumulate a little over $600,000 in cash. 90% is in a global investment account and credit fund. That's probably going to be a no. The global makes a little over 10% a year on average. Well, the managed mutual funds make 10 to 12%, so that's still going to be the advice over your dumb bullcrap here. And the credit fund, see, I don't even know what a freaking credit fund is. Let's see. That, and of course that actually, no, I can't, because I can't copy and paste it, so screw it. Pays out close to $2,600. The credit fund pays out close to $2,600, but you didn't say how much you have it in there. Global investment and credit fund. So the credit fund is a different thing, and it pays out $2,600 a year. What's the percentage of that is what I would need to know. In addition, I'm a boat captain and make anywhere from $500 to $1,200 a day. However, this is only 8 to 9 months out of the year and 35% in cash tips. My thing now is I don't want $600K sitting in an investment account that could crash, but I also don't want it sitting in a bank not working for me. I've considered real estate, but it's hard to manage while in college. Looking for some advice, that would be to have it in mutual funds. But that's also going to be not for just laying there for when you want to spend the money. Unless you want to do something like, you're only 22, unless you wanted to do something like buy a house or something like that. You may have other needs for it where you could put off retirement investing, but that should be in a retirement account, and that's the only investing that you do until you get that house. If you are going to buy a house, you would prioritize that and putting as much down on it as you can. So you're doing it wrong. Everybody wants to be in their little financial bro stuff. Global investing account and credit fund. Not advised by Mr. Ramsey. Again. And neither is any of it. You would not be just generally investing. It would be in a retirement account. You're doing it wrong. Don't know what country either, but if it's America, the Roth IRA, unless there's some boat union or something like that, or some boat, unless you work for somebody as a boat captain, unless it's just for yourself, like Forrest Gump, and then you have your own company. But you could, if you own your own company, and it's not just all this stuff under the table. If you own your own company, then you could open a solo 401k for yourself. But like I said, the Roth IRA would be better than nothing at all, and better than not being in a retirement savings. So again, if you plan on buying a house with this money, that kind of thing, I mean, that's $600K. I would imagine at least some of it you might want to buy a house, but boat captain may be living on the boat like Forrest did, and also may not know of an area that they want to settle down in. Maybe you go back and forth between multiple areas. So there's many things that I would be talking about with this person, but especially the investments. Just, I don't know where people find these things. They just find them and do it. At least it is making at least close to the index, S&P 500 index fund. But you're still leaving money on the table by not doing managed funds that make more than that. Infinite Recover 9. Paid off my car in 4 months. Great. Paid off 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe in 4 months. It is so freeing to own my car free and clear. I bet. We put a I right there. All I have left is AK student loan. Let's go. Yes, pay that off just as fast. For sure. At the same rate per month. Do that. I'm going to do that. Do that. Hope everybody's all well and good tonight. FERS contribution with our, I don't know what that is. Let's go ahead and open it. Did I look this up before? I can't remember. I think I talked about this briefly. I think what I said though was that I didn't know what it was, and maybe I'd look it up later, and this is later, so I did not lie about that. In new Search Google, and it will automatically open up in a new tab. Federal Employees Retirement System contributions. Okay, that is going to be a pension, and so that is not as good as the market, and so you would be counting that as half of the towards the 15%. So if you're putting 15% of your gross household income into that, that only counts as 7.5, and you need to invest 7.5 in the market. I'm gonna receive about 20K in FERS contributions when I leave government. I haven't worked there for 5 years, so I'm ineligible for pension. I was wondering what's the best way to use this. So is that stuff you put in a pension, but because you left early, maybe, then you get the contributions just cash? So you would invest that probably, unless, since you have to take it out anyway, since you have to cash it out, I mean, I guess maybe you could roll it into something, but since it's not going to be a one-to-one either way. Depends on like whether you pay taxes on it or not. That may come into play. Like you couldn't, if you didn't pay taxes on it. It just depends on how the FERS works. FERS just depends on how that works as to whether they charge taxes on it. If they don't charge taxes on the contribution, then to convert it to a Roth IRA, you would have to pay those taxes on it. But I would think you could put it in an IRA, just roll it to an IRA with no problem. Always consult your tax person and investment person. Best way to use this. So let's say, current situation, student loans. Well, if you get it cash anyway, and it would be an extra step to turn it into an investment again, then you would just use it on your debt, smallest to largest. I've paid off 200K and 75K left of student loans. Great. So, and that's 20K, so then there'll only be 50. Savings, $1,000. Oh my goodness, that's correct. You mean the person actually read the baby steps. Baby step 1 says save $1,000 and actually has only $1,000 in savings. Oh my goodness gracious me. Salary, 120K yearly. We increase to greater than 150K in few months. Maybe. We don't know the future. Retirement, 60K in TSP. Okay, so that is the military. Perhaps some other government as well, but definitely the military retirement. And so that's not a lot, but again, no, it doesn't say the person's age here. But you would be paying off the debt before investing. Question, I would like to pay down more on the student loan, and that's what you should do. But I'm not sure if it would be wiser to invest. Nope. Or put into a backdoor Roth IRA, especially as the money would grow. No, we don't debt leverage that way, my friend. Mr. Ramsey is against debt and debt leverage, meaning you don't keep student loans or a 0% car loan to invest or save the money. That's a no. We don't do that. I'm really financially illiterate. Been trying to learn, listening to Dave Ramsey these last few months. Great, listen more. Maybe get the book from the library or even buy it. Total Money Makeover or George's book, Breaking Free from Broke. And it'll tell you the basics about all this stuff and probably everything that I just said here. You do not do any saving or investing while you have student loans. That's a no. Now there's an exception, like for teachers. They don't have a choice. They have to put money into their pension. So and which is why they are, I believe, number 3 on the millionaires list. That's part of why they are. Dave says another reason they're on there is because teachers, they have to have lesson plans and so forth. So they probably carry that over to their, financial life as well. And they have, a system of things in place. But for both reasons, because their employer makes them save for retirement. Health book 2004, 39, business owner finally committing to Ramsey after years of excuses, advice, welcome. Well, you said you're finally committing to it, so do it, and do it the way it's written. Don't try to think of better ways to do things. Don't skip ahead in the steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time. Doing it through the business, if you're used to using debt in your business, that's going away. We don't do that anymore. So I don't know if that will allow you to keep that business open. We'll see. 39, I've been running my own business for over a decade. I've known about Ramsey's strategy for a long time, but always made excuses not to follow it. Probably so you can keep using dumbass debt. That's the normal reason. And so you don't have to sacrifice anything. So you don't have to wait for things that you want to buy or get for your business. Truthfully, I've been fortunate enough to not have to care. You should definitely care. My income has always outrun my mistakes. Well, that's good, but that is not guaranteed to always happen. But after some serious self-reflection, right, so even if that's the case, you've still wasted an awful lot of money, probably, by not running your finances the Ramsey way. I realize I've cost myself a ton, exactly, by not being intentional with my money. That changes now. Here's where I'm at. Let's see where he at. Or she. My wife and I both paid our way through school. No undergrad debt. We better not have overgrad debt either. We've got the usual suspects: a boat, a fancy SUV with a payment. Yep, and that's dumbass crap. And so how we get out of that is we can sell those if they have debt on them. My wife's master's degree loan. Yep. Some lingering dental bills for the kids and a mortgage. So I thought you said your finances vastly you out earned. Basically, you're out earning your stupidity, but no, you're not if you're not paying it off. The good news, I'll be able to pay off everything but the mortgage by September. Okay, do you remember? Paying everything except the mortgage by September. Once that's done, every extra dollar would go toward the house, which I plan to have paid off by November 2029. That's 4 years, so, I mean, that's not 4 years and a couple months, so that's not bad. So it seems like you're doing it right, but maybe out of bounds on the mortgage. Obviously going to pay it off, way before 15 years, but may have had a mortgage for many, many years already and have a 30 so they could afford the payment, etc. You know how people do. People are nutty. Retirement wise, we each have over $350K in our 401ks and max them out annually. How old? 39. I also contribute $5K per year to each of our kids' 401ks. All right. Well, I mean, that is not... You want to take care of their college first before taking care of their retirement. So that's dumb as crap. That's not advised. And they might have other expenses as well. So a brokerage account would have been better for them rather than giving them a head start on retirement. We'll have about 40. I understand it's better for the 401k. Are they employees of your business? How are you doing 401ks for the children? Huh. Interesting. So we'll have to look into that stuff and see if anything untoward is going on, and then we would advise to not do that dumb crap. We'll have about 40K left in savings after the debt payoff. Okay, that's your emergency fund, plus another 20K in a separate investment fund we set up. Okay, see that bull crap? That's your dumb crap you're doing. That's not the Ramsey advice. You would be putting everything except $1,000 to the non-mortgage debt. And then you pay off the mortgage. This extra $20,000, that would go straight to the mortgage today. And after you would pay off the other things by September. And if you add that 20K to everything else, maybe you could pay everything but the mortgage off today instead of waiting until September. See, people do this dumb non-Ramsey advised stuff, and then they want to keep doing it despite saying finally committing to Ramsey. No, you're not. You're still doing your same dumb crap. Real estate wise, I'm also part owner of 2 rental properties with 3 other partners. Okay, well, if those have mortgages on those, we don't do that. And we also don't have partners for business. Because guess what? If they screw up with the money, guess what? It's going to affect you too. So that's a no. So you need to get out of that. Personal equity across both is roughly $1 million. And if you don't have your own house paid off, guess what you would do? You would sell your interest in those and pay off your freaking house instead. You never should have done that while you had non-mortgage debt or even the mortgage debt. You did it wrong. It's time to start doing it right if you're going to commit to the Ramsey stuff. That doesn't mean you just say, okay, I'm going to do everything right now, but I'm going to still keep my same dumb crap going that Mr. Ramsey would not have advised before. That's dumb. You do not do that. These properties do have loans, so you get out of them. Make the other people buy you out. You do whatever you have to do to get out of them. And even if that's demanding that they be sold, and then you can split any equity between you 3, and then the other 2 can buy a different rental property and leave you out of it. And I'm not sure the group would be on board with aggressively paying them down the way I would be if they were mine alone. Right. They probably wouldn't be. So that's why you have to force the sale and force them to buy a different property with the equity from those 2, or they can buy your share out of it. They can just buy you out of it, and they can keep the loan on it, and that get you off of the loan for there. So that's dumb as crap. I don't care if you've known these people for years and years and years and years. That's gonna be a no. That's dumb as crap, sir. My business is healthy with 10 months of expenses in reserves, and for a business that's called, what is that called? It's like a business emergency fund. That's called retained earnings is what that's called. So that's good. Personal, nope, did that already. The ultimate goal, retire at 55, which gives me 16 years to stack hard and fast. Well, again, you'd have to change a bunch of what you're doing and still gonna keep doing, apparently. I don't see anything, and I don't see anything where it says, I know all this is dumb bull crap that I was doing, and Mr. Ramsey doesn't advise this, so I'm going to change it. I don't see any of that. I see more of I did all this dumb bull crap, and how do you think I'm doing? I want some people to agree with me that this is good stuff, because I'm going to keep doing it. Here's my question to communicate. Let's see. Beyond paying off the house and continuing to invest, is there anything else I should be doing to accelerate my path? Yeah, you undo all the dumb bull crap you did that is against the advice. And again, we'll go over it. Let's see. Let's see. Saving anything extra, well, other than the $1,000 emergency fund, while you have non-mortgage debt, which would include that SUV, a fancy one too. Then next, you don't have extra investing or savings of any kind while you still have a mortgage. You do not do that. You do the 15% to retirement for yourself, not for your kids. But the 15% to retirement is all you would be doing, while every other cent goes to pay off the mortgage. None go to freaking partner rental properties. So that's a no. So you got to undo that. The 5K per year to each of our kids, 401ks, nope. That's a no until you get the mortgage paid off. The 40K left in savings, no, you don't have that left. That goes to the house. And the 20K in a separate investment fund, that goes to the house as well. What is it that you don't understand about the baby steps? They are very, very simple. See, they're right there, and it has them listed here. And see, what you got to do, keep in mind, if it doesn't say it on here, then just to be safe, don't do it. Like, if it doesn't say invest before step 4, you don't do it. If it doesn't say anywhere invest more than 15% at any point before step 7, which is when you would do that, after the house is paid off, after a kid college, if you choose to help them, might not want to help them, might just want to fund their retirement. But are they really working in the business too? I would love to know how that is structured. But yeah, so you're doing it wrong. The retire at 55, that's not generally at the, if you get there and that can happen, knock yourself out. But otherwise, that would not be like something to shoot for. And besides, you have other stuff to do before you get into that. Take care of all of your dumb bull crap that you did that's against the Ramsey advice. Undo all of that first. Be completely debt free, get on step 7, and then you can do your dumb bull crap. Again, if you really insist on it, that would be where the time where you could do any and all of that dumb bull crap. You can have as much savings as you want, because once you get to step 7, that means you've earned it. People are nutty. Finally committing to Ramsey. No, you're not. You're dumb. I mean, yeah. Known about the Ramsey strategy for a long time. Maybe not. Maybe didn't look at the baby steps too much. Maybe just thinks it's, oh, well, it's no debt. Oh, but certainly my business partnership loan on 2 rental properties doesn't count as that. Yes, it does. And you know darn well that it does. People, again, are nutty. Beckham's planning to pay off mortgage over the next 2 years. Thoughts on investing and then paying lump sum. Paying in a mortgage itself feels so futile. I don't care. I don't care. You're dumb. Quit being dumb. Quit being dumb. You do not invest and then pay a lump sum. That would be debt leverage. Keeping the mortgage around instead of paying it off and investing it otherwise. That is called debt leverage, and that's a no from Mr. Ramsey. And this person probably knows darn well it is as well. 42 comments, and again, probably half the people said, oh yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. Punch for punch. When does it make sense to buy different cars? Does it make sense to keep our cars? No, not just because you think you need that one or need a newer car. That wouldn't be. Let's see. We have a 2018 F-150 with about 120K. With Worth about a 20K? No, worth about 13,000. We have a 2018 F-150 with about 120K miles on it, maybe? And a 2006 Pontiac GXP with about 130, I'm assuming, again, miles, worth about $4,000. Both are paid off. Both have needed about 2K of work in the past 6 months. 2K of work to avoid buying a different car, 2K each, so it's 4K. So you spend the 4K and both of you have cars for longer without having to buy a newer used car. That seems very, very acceptable to me. And now the F-150 is needing more work. We have no idea how much it'll cost yet, but next week it'll go in the shop. Okay, if it costs more money than you want to put into it, knock yourself out and put that money towards a used car. It doesn't have to be newer than that one. See, that's where people are nutty. They justify all kinds of crap. It doesn't have to be newer than the other. It doesn't have to be as nice as that other one, as the 2018 vehicle, the F-150. So that's where people get in trouble on that part. We have no other debt except no other debt. So these are not paid off. So you have debt on these. So you're, in addition to having to fix them, you also have to pay the loan. See, this is why Mr. Ramsey says no financing cars. Let's see, except we have no other, again, people love to say we have no other debt except. I don't care about the debt you don't have. I only care about the debt you do have because it's dumb as crap and you need to change that. You need to pay that off as quickly as possible. That we're only paying minimums on for now while we stockpile an emergency fund plus medical costs since we're expecting a child in February. Okay, that is what they should be doing. They should not be paying extra on stuff. They should be fixing vehicles still. And also during this time, you would not be buying a vehicle when you don't have to buy a vehicle. Now, there is a point where you don't repair an older vehicle. And you you put the money that you would use to repair it towards a different vehicle. And you have your mechanic check out that, of course, any car that you want to buy. So that you can be better, have a better sense of if that's gonna, we don't never know for sure, because guess what? You could fix the 2018 F-150 and it be fine for 2 years without needing anything major. You could also buy a newer car, or get this, you could even buy a brand new car and that will have more problems than the 2018 F-150. So we don't know in advance. And so trying to say, like a lot of people will, justification station, we need a new car. No, you do not. But it needs to be safe for the baby. Nope. I got 2 babies that are still alive. They are 21 and 29, and they rode in used compact cars all the time. So shut up with that dumbo crap. So yeah, so correct. They should just be paying minimums on the car loans and on the student loan while they are in stork mode, because of the child they're expecting in February. And they unpause once mom and baby gets home from the hospital safe and they have worked out all the payments to the hospital for said delivery. I work from home with a flexible schedule, so if needed, we could go down to 1 car and I could drop off and pick up my husband from work each day, about 25 minutes each way. Yeah, that's not fun. I go 25 minutes and I'm going to move closer to work because of that. So that's not fun, but yeah, you could do that and save the money, especially now when you should be stockpiling cash. And so it's worth the trouble to not have to fix a vehicle or buy a new vehicle. Let's see if there's anything else. Interesting. 50% highway and would increase gas costs, obviously. Two O's. But I still want to figure out a reliable option for at least one car. No. Okay, so you see, kids, the 2018 F-150 had work done. So did the 2006 Pontiac GXP. That had work done as well recently. But now the F-150 has to go back and do the shop for other repairs that they do not know how much it will be to fix. That does not mean that the Pontiac GXP is going to have problems, or you need to have a reliable replacement for it. You do not. Quit being dumb. You're probably being new parents and thinking, oh, we need a safe car for the baby. Or being even dumber and saying, oh, we need a safe, reliable car for us. That one is fine. But I still want to figure out a reliable option. You're stupid, lady. It needs four-wheel drive and to be good in snow. We live in a rural, snowy area. Is the Pontiac GXP? Does it have four-wheel drive in it? If not, guess what? It was fine before. It will be fine now. Quit being dumbasses. People are so dumb. Unbelievable. So it's fine with your life in it, but not for your baby. Or now that you have decided you want another car. That could be the most of the thing, and just the baby is just a justification station stop. Let's see, what would you recommend we do car-wise? As I said, see what the F-150 is and decide to repair it or not. Go down to the one car, especially while you don't need one. You're pregnant, you're not going to be going anywhere. You can share one car. You do not have to drive to work. You also can let the husband take the car to his work, and he doesn't have to be dropped off, so you have a vehicle to bounce around town. You need to keep your butt at home. Okay? How about doing that? That would be safer for the child than you driving out all over everywhere and gallivanting and going to the bridge club or whatever you do with the ladies and all that. How about you wait till after the baby's born to do that? Is it worth it to keep our two cars and keep repairing them? Generally, yes, it is. But at some point, there will be a point where the repair cost, you just don't want to sink that much into it because it's an older car and you would like to upgrade, but this is only 7 years old, babe. So, as I say with my 20-year-old car, so shut up. I don't care if you have a baby or not. I transported my two babies with a old car as well. When are they worthwhile to get rid of? Well, you get to make the decision of that, but you don't want to base it on just because you want a new car, which is most of the time what happens. Because you don't need one. You need to understand what the word need actually means and use it correctly. If we got rid of them, what should we even get instead? See, you don't need to get rid of them. How about we wait for the information on the F-150 first to find, maybe it won't cost that much. And you're all in a tizzy about that, and you know, I mean, it could be some other dumb crap going on here because people are nutty, of course, whereas, you know, maybe they're excited about paying off debt. Who knows? So maybe they were excited about that, and that gives them something to talk about and to think about. Doing the Ramsey advice. But now that they're on stork mode, they're not paying extra on anything. So do they need another project as far as oh, we need a new car. Oh yeah, we need to do that, and it's not an actual need. And so you just said yourself, you don't need a car. And you don't need to drive the husband to work. You can just do without a car most of the time. If there's some kind of thing that happens, maybe you can do an Uber one time instead of that. And, husband can go to you can go to the store when the husband is at home. And he doesn't have to go. He can stay at home, and you can use the car while he's at home. See, but no, people don't want to think about that. They want to think about, oh, we need 2 cars. No, you don't. You said it yourself. So quit being nutty, people. People are so nutty. Change my channel name to stop being nutty, people. Let's see if I can get that to stop. Stop being. Nope, didn't work. Maybe when I go back, it'll be fine. Yes, it will be. Fun ad. Unicorn. Dave says you want to be a millionaire. Surround yourself with millionaires. Find out what they do. Does anyone else feel like he might as well be saying surround yourself with unicorns? I really don't know any millionaires. Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. But it doesn't really even have to be a millionaire, though. It can be just somebody that has a lot more money than you. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a millionaire. And as I said when previewing this question, is that he's been in real estate since he was a teenager. And so he probably came across other, realtors, other people that invested in real estate. So he probably came across some early in life. And so easier for him for sure. But they don't have to actually be millionaires to be a good influence on you. The main point of this is you don't hang out with broke people, especially broke people that are getting their advice from non-Dave Ramsey TikTok videos that tell them how to be a good financial bro. Connect Youth 4611. Mom thinks $1,000 baby emergency fund is too much. How to explain it to her? And this one's locked. Too contentious. Let's see. Let's open it up. Because most of the time you get the people that say it's not enough, but I guess mom wants you to pay off debt faster, or she wants to if you're having her do the steps. But why is mom this involved in your finances? Let's see, baby step 1. Okay, so just starting it, or is that just what the question's about? Maybe I chat with my mom off and on about Dave Ramsey's plan. She even had the book sitting at home that she bought. Great. Had the book sitting at home? Has, maybe. Unfortunately, she won't even consider it strictly because she thinks $1,000 for a start emergency fund is too much and it could be better used on debt. Okay, well, that also has been brought up. And one of the other songs in the music playlist is How to Do the Baby Steps Right. And the first verse, of course, is step 1, 1K emergency fund. What is it? You don't save more to add to that sum. You don't use it to pay off debt. And don't even think about higher steps. Right, that's supposed to be a Murphy repellent. That is supposed to take care of small emergencies, so you do not have to put those on a credit card. So that's supposed to take care of your small emergencies, and less than that, people think that the $1,000 isn't even enough. Most people do that. So how do you explain it to her? I would explain it to her that almost everybody that has a problem with it thinks that it is not enough. Unfortunately, due to this, any minor emergency such as needing a small car repair or a car gets towed, etc., she pops it on her credit card. And that's the exact reason why. So that's how you explain it to her. You tell her she's being dumb as crap, like I do. So she doesn't understand that? How do I explain to her $1,000 is actually not? See, that would seem you have just typed out the explanation. So you're being a dumbass too by not realizing that you've answered your own question. Which is the point I know is actually not enough. Yep. But can keep her from backsliding on the little stuff. I've never heard the $1,000 is too much argument. So I don't even know how to address it. Yes, you do. You already typed it in. Just like you said, due to this, any minor emergencies, such as needing a small car repair, her car gets towed, etc., she pops it on her credit card, and that's why, so you don't use your darn credit card anymore, mommy. Quit being dummy, mommy. Most people talk about it not being enough, and that's true, and you could tell her that as well. So, or you could just let her have her little opinion about it and go about your own finances. Mr. Ramsey says often that somebody that has changed your diapers doesn't want to hear anything about you, from you, about money or sex. Drowse. D-R-O-U-S-E. Is that some kind of UK for like drowsy? Meaning, you know, tired, that kind of thing. Don't know. Or does it mean something else? How do I help family in a financial mess to join the Ramsey flock? The best thing you can do is just do it yourself and be a good role model. Because they have to want to be able to get out. They have to want to get out of their situation, and they have to be willing to sacrifice to do it. And most people are not. That's why most people do not follow the Ramsey advice. About a month after fate put a random Ramsey show YouTube short video in front of me, I fell hard down the rabbit hole. Great. After binge watching videos and listening to podcasts, I introduced it to my wife to the baby steps. Okay. Who was hesitant, but I started budgeting everything and got 1,000 bloody quid emergency fund saved up. By the middle of baby step 2, she was fully invested. Great. That worked out great. It sounds like you kind of force-fed it to her and made her do it. But now she's fully invested, so in this case it worked, I guess. Whatever you did worked. And we've been on the ride together ever since. I've spent months preaching the baby steps and Ramsey show to family, but got the usual eye rolls. Yep. And that's going to happen. And so after enough eye rolls, I don't try anymore. I have to get some kind of thing where they want help. Some kind of indication that they actually want help. And they don't. But they probably do. Most people in financial messes do want help, but they just don't want it to affect their fun in life. Then during a casual dinner, dropped the news we were out of all debt, but the mortgage, overpaying mortgage by 1,000 quid a month and investing 15%. Family members' jaw drop. Yeah. And, you would think the average person would say, oh, well, if somebody in my family did it, then that means I can do it too. But some people just get jealous. Let's see. I've since given my copy of Total Money Makeover to my older brother who lives at home with parents. Yep, lives with mommy and daddy. Older brother. Still is in a deep hole financially. I know it is gathering dust, but what else can I do? That's about it. You're being a good example. You told them that you are out of debt. So that is conclusive proof that they don't have to live that way if they choose not to. And they can ask you about it if they need to. So, you've done about all you can do, I don't know how much more I would say about it. I'm evidence that it works. That's right. Handed over the researchers, but it's not clicking in his head to follow the steps. Okay, so are we talking about family, or are we talking about just your brother? It seems like we started with family, but now we're just talking about your brother. And part of the problem is that he's being enabled by being able to live with mommy and daddy still. So that's enabling this dumbass behavior that allows him to get into even more financial mess, because he doesn't have the rent and maybe even food expenditures that an adult normally does. Red Flyboy 97, baby step 3B question. All right, and it's not there if you look at it right there, or even on the subreddit version of it. Yeah, it does not say it right there, but between step 3 and step 4 is a little thing called baby step 3B, and that is where you save your start saving your down payments for a house. So you are not saving money for a house on step 1. You are not saving money for a down payment on step 2. You are not saving money for a down payment on step 3. And once you get step 3, not 1 cent of your full emergency fund becomes the down payment. That separate savings starts after you finish the full emergency fund on step 3. And that is what that is. What would Dave say about how to approach baby step 3B? Well, you have options. The balance between step 4 investing and step 3B saving for down payment for a house. For up to 2 years, you get to decide what the balance between that is. And that can even be 0 investing while you save up a larger down payment faster. Or you can do up to your match in investing and put everything else towards that down payment. Or you can do 50-50, whatever you want to do. And this is one of the only times where you completely get to decide the numbers between step 3 and 3B and 4. Otherwise, they're spelled out for you. 15% for investing, 3 to 6 months of expenses. And that's not giving you an exact number, but it is giving you a formula to figure out your exact number for emergency fund. Currently have enough equity in our current home for a 20% down payment on our next home that we've already come to agreement to buy off market from a close family friend. Okay, would you buy the house if it wasn't from a close family friend? You have to take that part out of it. If the answer is no, then you don't buy it still. But as far as the question about you have enough equity to put 20% down, okay, so the idea is not to constantly churn mortgages and upgrade houses. That's not the idea. The idea is that you use the equity in your current house and cash you save to buy completely in cash. So why do we need to upgrade house is what the question would be. Because you don't need to upgrade in most situations. Now, if you have a 2-bedroom house and you have a Brady Bunch level family, which of course that would be 2 adults, 6 kids, then maybe you can't do the 2-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom house anymore. So I would get that. You would need something bigger, but that doesn't mean you need a brand new house. That doesn't mean it needs to be in a high cost of living area, etc., etc. So you want to simmer down now on the spending is what you got to do, and take a shower from that to cure your house fever there. Let's see. Do we pretend that equity doesn't exist and save up in cash? Or should we plan on using that equity and move on to baby step 4 through 6? Again, That's going to be, why are you moving? And we would have to, I would need to seriously question about if you need to do it. And, it also depends on how long you've had your current mortgage as well. And so if you only have enough equity for 20% down, I mean, you may have paid off half of the mortgage, and that's only 20% of the new house. And of course, houses prices have gone up. But again, that would mean you don't need to buy one necessarily. Obviously, you want to buy that. And think you're getting some kind of deal from the close family friend or something like that since you're buying it off market. Who knows? And move on to baby step 4 through 6. Also going to be needing a new, to me, car in the next 4 or 5 months. So how do I work that into the saving while trying to save for the home? Thanks. So you see, and you said you've already come to an agreement. Unless you sign something, that doesn't matter. You can change your mind still. But see here, what you didn't say about the house, I'm guessing you think you need it, which is why I did the need all the time. But you said also going to be needing a new to me car in the next 4 or 5 months. So about that, I would even question a client, someone I would advising, I would even ask them about that. Oh, you actually need it? Why do you need it? Why do you need to spend money on a different car? Why? And so, but you seem to think that's a need. The house is not a need. So I would concentrate on the car and not try to be upgrading in-house. And the reason may be that it's just such a deal. That's not a good reason to buy either. So, and of course, it all depends on what they said, what was it? Move on to baby steps 4 through 6. So, steps 1, 2, and 3 taken care of. So that's great because you wouldn't be moving anyway. You wouldn't be buying another house anyway at that point. Because on steps 1, 2, and 3, you don't buy any house at all. Or upgrade. You do not do that. So, just would have questions about the upgrade. Why? And is it actually needed? And is it needed to do that more than you need the car? And even do you need a new to you car? Baby step 2 question. CC May 1020. Hi guys, think I'm in a pretty good place. Only debt I have is my mortgage and my car. That's not you have debt. That's not a good place. Now the mortgage, the house, probably going up in value. The car, not so much. The other way. 651 payment. Oh, 21K. So you see what you can do to that is sell that and get a beater instead. 0 credit card debt. Fine. You said that. Paid off student loans last year. Great. Have roughly 3.5 times my salary in 401k. You should not be investing while you're doing it wrong. You should not be investing while you owe money on the car. I'm able to pay all my bills, have spending money, and have roughly $712 available at the end of each month for cash savings. You do not have any more cash savings than $1,000. You're doing it wrong is the answer to this baby step 2 question. You are trying to do baby step 3 and beyond things on baby step 2, and that's doing it incorrectly. I have $6,900 in cash savings. Should I follow baby step 2? Yes. I don't care what the rest of it says. You should follow baby step 2. Make me nervous to empty that. I don't give a crap. It should make you nervous to have the debt, dumbass. We don't do debt leverage around here. You're doing debt leverage to have more savings, and that's the entire Ramsey advice, to not do that dumb financial bro crap. Stop it. Stop it. What's tomorrow? Wednesday. I think there'll be another 8 p.m. stream tomorrow night, and then Thursday there will be an after show, 11:05 a.m. Thursday morning, Eastern time. NRM4, what should I do when it happens? When what happens? I have a house that I bought in 2020. I own baby step 2. I have $73K left on the mortgage. That was my primary residence. But we rent the apartment we live in. Moved in with fiance. So you still have the mortgage, and you're renting it out or something like that? You shouldn't be doing that. You should have sold it. If you're not going to live in it, you sell it. You do not keep property to rent out while you're on baby step 2. That's dumb as crap. Do you follow Ramsey's investing philosophy of employer match, then Roth, then traditional in this order? Yes, because that's the best advice. Why are you dumb and even questioning it? You can't question that. There's no questioning that. Regardless of paralysis of the analysis for future tax rates, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, you cannot question that. It is the exact correct way to do it. You do the employer match. Why first? That's prioritized because it is 100% rate of return. Then the Roth is 0 taxes paid in retirement when you take money out of your Roth IRA or Roth 401k to live on in retirement. Wouldn't that be great to not have to pay taxes on it? Dummy. And then the traditional, because that's still a tax advantage, you did save the taxes on the contributions. So it would be that order. So the employee match first, and then your Roth IRA up to the yearly limit. You would do that before you put anything in the traditional. Every dollar website issue, okay, I don't know. Don't use it. Canada are 30s male and female. Life is built on a house of cards. How do I get ahead? You stop doing the dumb financial things you're doing right now. That's how. You stop it from being built on a house of cards. You quit the dumb stuff. You got car payments, you sell the cars and buy beaters. Living in Vancouver is probably might not be a thing. You might have to defect to America, to the Midwest, or at least somewhere cheaper in Canada. All right, and we'll go into more depth about those things. Once more, youtube.com/coachstevemoney is where you can find my streams. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Just email me, give me a couple options for date and time, and we will make that appointment happen. You can also email me, same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. It wasn't taken. And ask me about financial coaching or anything about finances or anything on my YouTube channel. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Greatly appreciated. Alternatively, the CashApp at $CoachSteveMoney wasn't taken. Or Walmart gift card to that same email address. What do you know? CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, and as always, or at least as of the past couple months, subject to change. The Ramsey show, after show, did not update this because it still has Mondays on there. We did that one yesterday. The only other one this week is going to be on Thursday, August 7th. And again, that's 11:05 a.m. Answer your financial question streams, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Tuesday, hey, that's today. That's the one we just finished. Wednesday and Friday, August 6th and 8th. Are the ones upcoming. Also, very shortly here, I'm going to start probably at least an hour play continuing the Last of Us Part 2 PC remastered version, their new update that they did for it that allows you to play the game chronologically instead of with all of the flashbacks, which greatly enhance and ramp up the suspense, etc., in the game. But doing it chronologically, that is interesting as well, because you would find, if you played it that way first, you would find out things beforehand before you would know them as they originally made the game happen. All right, anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and as always, make smart financial decisions every day.